Good morning, everybody. Hope you guys are having a great day. Today is Tuesday, May 9th, 8:20 a.m., and we will be going over what to watch today and just the pre-market preparations for what to expect in the market. So let's get started. We're going to get started with economic reports and what to watch out for today. First off the bat, we have Airbnb after close. We have Rivian and Oxy after close. Twillo and Affirm as well as Upstart after close. Those six names are going to be something worth watching. We know that a lot of earning stock have been pumping. An example could be Disney, which is tomorrow. They have been on a tear with their strength. So we're going to see if a lot of those stocks continue. Um, so today we don't have any big data reports. I do believe we have something at 12, but nothing that should affect the market severely. 12 o'clock is John Williams' speech, so we'll just trade around there cautiously, but nothing before that. So let's get moving. All right. So let's get on to the futures chart, what we're going to watch out for futures and what to watch in the market. All right, let's go with NASDAQ first. So NASDAQ, we see this trend of rejection around this whole range. We talked about this yesterday, 13,350. Tends to be that area of selling. We also got that 13,370 where we rejected a high day yesterday. So if y'all got the puts around there, that would have been printing for you. I added this blue line here. This blue line is a spot of neckline that we're gonna watch. If we break lower lows, that's gonna be a put entrance for me. Personally, I believe that after yesterday's high day reject, it's gonna be very difficult for buyers to try and push us up higher, since we keep rejecting this monthly high. So it's becoming more difficult for us to try and push past it. We're losing more volume. We're getting weaker. But we'll see how we react. There's still a possibility that strength is underway. I'm still leaning more towards the bearish side of the market at the current moment till CPI. So still a lot of bag holders. We'll see how the market reacts. There is a lot of bullish sentiment towards CPI. So we'll see if that comes into effect today. It is Tuesday. Tomorrow is CPI. So we'll see how the market reacts. There could be cautious trading. There could be a lot of volatility at open. And with that, we'll be very, very careful. But me personally leaning towards puts, so we'll see how the market reacts. All right, so yeah, our plan for today, if we get back up to that 13,350 to 13,370 area, I'm going to personally be looking for a small put scalp or even just watch for momentum loss. Yesterday we had about 4 candles of momentum loss at that price, which allowed us to see that sellers are active. If we do end up getting strength and we push it at 13,411, that's a spot where I want to look for puts as well. Anything above this, we have a few levels. We see consistent rejects that's where we want to be in. Now, as far as levels go, we already talked about this support. There's not really many chart patterns that I can name on this, which is why we got to be trading within ranges. And with that in mind, we're just selling at the top and buying at the bottom, current bottom, based off of yesterday's low. It's going to be around that 13,259. So if we fail that, I am looking for shorts. But there's really not much else. I'm going to try and mark different spots. This could be something important to add to your chart. We break it. That's a trend that we can try and break below. That may add on to our analysis of a break below 13,259 for some puts. So I'll have this on watch, and we'll see how that plays out. Other than that, let's move on to ES. Let's see how we do there. So yesterday we rejected supply at pre-market. We attempted it high a day, failed it about 2 points, and then sold off to a lower low, which we were at pre-market. This is very bearish in my opinion. If we stay below 4145, in fact, if we push up today and around the morning, and I want to see a rejection on 4145, that's a resistance spot for me. We reject that, then I want to see us go lower. The only problem with today is going to be this whole range from 4135 to 4118. I will not be trading any of this. In fact, it's going to be very, very tough for us to move. There can be volatility there. There could be a straight move down. That's not an area I want to be trading. So with that in mind, I'm looking for puts at 4145. I don't believe we're going to have enough strength to push higher. If we do, then okay, we'll look for momentum loss. But the strength is not, in my opinion, not strong enough to get us higher. But yeah, so puts at 4145. If we do sell off rapidly today and we see people loading in for CPI near end of the day or possibly around 12, then I want to try and grab calls at the demand. It's going to be a little difficult for me to grab calls at 4118. It's going to be a tough spot. But demand is something I'm more solid towards. And other than that, that should be all for our analysis when it comes to the ES market. We're going to move on to SPX. SPX should have a lot more detail for us. All right. All right, perfect. So SPX, we marked this 4142 level yesterday. It was high a day spot, an area where we saw possible rejections at, and it just formed a nice little 5-minute resistance, which we ended up rejecting. And so now we're sort of watching to see how it does, where it gaps to. We are down pre-market, so it's going to be interesting to see how it opens. Overall, sort of chopped yesterday. Some people may think that this is a bull flag. I personally do not yet. We'll see how it does. In fact, this would probably be more of a bear flag than a bull flag. So I mean, we got our little body, we got our trend, and now we can go lower. My plan, like I had the idea for yesterday, is going to most likely be puts below 4127, or if we push up higher, rejects at 4148 is my biggest reject spot for this week. Seeing gap fill is going to be very tough this week, in my opinion, both to the top and the bottom side, till we see CPI reports impact the market in a big form. But right now, we see that the range for CPI is a little tighter. Yesterday, we were only within a less than 8, almost $8 to $10 range, where we barely even moved. It was very, very slow movement. The morning move happened, and then it was choppy for the rest of the day. That's something that could end up happening again today, so we just got to be aware of that we're scalping between ranges. So personally, just gonna look for puts at the top, calls at the bottom, unless we break a specific level where it's gonna be tough for buyers to step in it. All depends on volume, but we'll see how we play out. 4113 though, this spot here has just been a continuous buy spot for investors, so I'm interested in seeing if that becomes a buy spot for investors today. If it is, then of course we'll load in calls, but right now I'm just focusing on this reject, and then however else the market decides to play out, we'll follow. So yeah, that's all for SPX futures market. We're gonna go into dividend or individuals, and we're gonna give our thoughts on that. So individuals, looks like Apple chopped a little bit. Now starting to form like a bearish or selling volume. No higher highs yet. After this earnings push, we're starting to see some sell-off. In fact, yesterday Apple was oddly one of the most strongest stocks at open specifically, and then it started kind of flowing off at near the end of the day. But this was an interesting watch to see. Looks like when the market was chopping after that morning drop, it was one of the only stocks to see that strength before the market pumped, and then it pushed up. So I want to see what Apple does again today at open, whether it pushes up or we sell off a little bit. But nothing related to patterns here. I'm just watching it as a compass to what the S&P may do. Other than that, Costco is not something I'm really watching. We're watching Walmart above 152. Oh, we broke out of it. I didn't get an alert. Ooh, we were watching for Walmart calls above 152.01 for a target of 152.96. Looks like it already hit yesterday. I missed it. I didn't know that it broke out. But that's fine. consumer sector specifically is what we're watching for some volume. Looks like Costco yesterday didn't have a lot of it, but enough to push a higher high and not enough to fill this gap that we have right here. So we may want to see that today, especially with Walmart. We may want to see Walmart also attempt to fill maybe even 153.92, but that is all. So we're gonna go on to Nvidia. Nvidia has been strong, very, very strong. In fact, AMD also had a very, very bullish day yesterday. For it to continue, it's gonna be very tough because high day was this high rejection, this low candle rejection. So it's gonna be interesting in seeing how AMD plays out. In fact, there's a lot of buyers holding, so there's going to be a point where we're going to start to see profit takers step in, and we'll see if there's FOMO involved still. We'll see if there's a lot of fear, and if that's so, then they can possibly continue going up. My main reject would probably be around this 98 spot, but that's, to me personally, I feel like that's unlikely. I feel like we're going to see a reject very sooner. But Nvidia should definitely follow. Nvidia hit a high day. I have no levels above this for anything. We were in this range. Now we broke out and now we're bullish, so that makes sense. So I'm not really going to touch any of this until I feel like maybe AMD is in a great spot for some puts, but that's about it. Tesla bearish yesterday. We sold off. We actually held above 169.76 resistance. If y'all are in the newsletter, we got all of these plays planned out during the weekend. All of them worked out very nicely. If you guys check out Meta, Walmart was the one that we were targeting. We got our ideas, all of that. We had our Google play that worked out very well as well yesterday. Lots of great setups on that newsletter. And now we're holding above this 169.76. This was last week's newsletter where we were looking for a breakout on Friday, and we broke out. Now we want to see us hold 169 and try to push a higher high. We do have a massive gap here to fill. If we break below, then it's bearish. It's going to start selling off all that gains, more than likely. So we'll see how it plays out. And there's this Meta we were talking about. Meta hit our target. Meta broke out of that falling wedge in that day, moved up, hit our target, and then sold off. Now maybe we're looking for a bounce back up if there's strength enough. If not, and we break 229.93, if we break this price, I'm watching for puts, y'all. That gap entrance, Meta has been on a bearish movement. This falling wedge may have been a trend reversal, but we failed to hit a higher high, which a higher high is going to be this wick over here. We failed to get above that. So that shows me that we are still weak, and if we are still weak, we're going to look for puts. So hopefully you guys understood that. Amazon's interesting. We did break a higher high, yet to fill a candle above it, so we'll see if it's still weak. Anything below the support and we break it, that's going to be bearish. Amazon is in a stock I like trading though, especially recently. So I'm not going to touch it, but we'll move on. We talked about AMD, best reject spot. I'm going to actually start doing some technical analysis to see. High days or high day reject there, low here, wick there. We're going to see what other levels will be impacted. We talked about over here. Possibly this high. Talk about that. So yeah, those aren't terrible levels to have marked. We'll see a rally. Try to stay within this range. If we stay below, then we know that they're bearish. They're not trying to push us higher, so we can try and sell. It all depends. Chip sector has been something that's been strong for a while. All right, Netflix is also a stock that had relative strength yesterday. One of the only consistently bullish stocks. Yesterday we broke out of the resistance. We were looking for calls, we missed it, and it just ended up zooming and zooming and zooming. Those who were prepared in the newsletter definitely got in and printed. And yeah, hit our complete target, which is not often that we see a diamond-handed target touch. Right here. And it ended up going very nicely for us. All right, we'll move on to I believe it's, yeah, BA. So BA is about to break the resistance. It looks like pre-market they're rejecting their high. I've been wanting to watch this for calls. I wanted puts at this, but I missed it here too. If we can get above this resistance, hopefully not pre-market, which it looks like we're about to do, I want to grab some calls. BA has bullish news. They also have been testing this for a while now, and I believe they want to try and hit that daily supply once more after bouncing off the low of that range. So it's going to be an interesting watch. Hopefully we get an opportunity to grab back in. They hopefully wake down and then we're able to grab a higher high candle. If they do, we're going to make some bread. But BA is definitely on my watch list for today. So let's move on. All right, Google, another stock that hit our diamond-handed target, which again is very, very tough to see. And of course, those contracts printed as well. All right, and last but not least, I don't think we're going to see anything else here for today, is this Walmart. If we can get above 152.96, again 153, hopefully, because it looks like we're bearish pre-market, if we get back to the supply, hopefully we can use it as a bounce spot. If not, then that's cool. Hopefully y'all took your profits at that price, but there's really not much else I see in the market. PayPal had a terrible earning. Looks like they dropped a lot. So yeah, we're gonna end the session here. There's not really a lot in the market, which is why I'm very bearish. But my list is gonna be Nasdaq, possibly BA, and then we're gonna look into Tesla maybe, and then of course Meta below 229.93 for some puts as we attempt to fill gap to the bottom side. And everything that I list will be updated to my Twitter, so if y'all want, go check that out in written form. Hope y'all have a great trading day. Trade smart, trade safe. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace out.